But our next guest is is a very, very special guy looking at some of the changes as we talk about reskilling, innovation, and some of the areas. Hop on out here. So
yeah, it's a pleasure for us to have Mike Morris. He's the CEO of TopCoder. Mike established TopCoder as a premier crowdsourcing software development destination. He believes that TopCoder's 1 million plus strong on-demand global software development community will continue to redefine business. And what a critically important time for us to have someone who's leading this incredible army of developers and design thinkers and creative folks helping companies transform. You can follow TopCoder on Twitter to get the latest news in terms of innovation in that space at TopCoder. Mike, would you share your Twitter handle with us as well before we start?
Sure, it's MPMorris36.
MPMorris36, excellent. Welcome to DisrupTV, Mike.
Welcome to DisrupTV. It's awesome to have you here.
Great to be here. So people are looking for innovation. They're looking for all these different places. But the challenge is, they don't always have the right people around. They don't have the right skill set. Sometimes they need outside ideas. And tell us the premise of why you actually set up TopCoder. So, Bill Joy was one of the ones that really kind of founded the thinking around, no matter who you are as a company, the smartest people work for somebody else. And we firmly believe that. And TopCoder was a way to establish an environment and a network and a community that allowed geography not to play, right? It didn't matter where you were. It didn't matter what your background was. If you were able to do a piece of work or accomplish a task, then you earned the right to do that work. And really, it's that democratization of opportunity. And we have amazing projects that we put out from the likes of companies like Comcast, Zurich Insurance, NASA, and we allow people all over the globe to be able to work on these projects and collaborate with each other to solve really complex or highly creative problems.
Now you use like a system of challenges, right? Like how does someone set up something? Like, I'm going to do a TopCoder challenge. Like how do they set it up? Like, what are some of the elements that are required to be successful?
So most people will first think that must mean that you have to have this incredibly specific specification. And it's actually quite the opposite. So what we do is we try to start with something that's broad brush, and a challenge really brings out creative ideas. So you can have a lot of difference of opinion, difference of thought, diversity of thought that comes in from a challenge, where you might get 12 people to submit the way that the application could flow or could work or could look, as opposed to one or two. So we use a challenge to really bring out the best in our community. When you do things like application development, we're using challenges more to identify the people with the right skill sets, and then we use them to do that hard engineering, that testing, and all the finished goods. And then finally, on our data science side, that's where competition is, in my opinion, is kind of the crown jewels of TopCoder, where people will compete, not just for the prize money, but they compete for the problems that we solve, predictive medicine problems, getting a mission to Mars problems. These things are huge, difficult, complicated, hairy, algorithmic problems, and people compete for the fun of that, or for the ability to see their names on leaderboards and get statistics and ratings for it.
Sure. Mike, we had the president of IDC on our show a couple of weeks ago, and he said that from 1965 to 2017, 500 million software applications were created. And IDC projects that only in the next 10 years, there'll be another 500 million applications, so doubling the total capacity in just the next decade. At the same time, demand for IT to develop applications is 5 times greater than their ability to produce, based on our latest research. So there's incredible demand. We don't have the skill set to deliver to those demand. It's launching this citizen development movement, but without necessarily the guidelines you need to ensure scalability and security. So tremendous opportunity for organizations like TopCoder to help companies accelerate the digital business transformation. My question to you is, given the fact that we know there's a skills gap shortage within companies, and those companies that don't leverage communities like TopCoder are sure to fall behind, how do you incentivize, or can you talk about, like, for example, I've heard a premier TopCoder has an automatic interview at some of the best tech companies in the world, Google's, the Apple's, the Salesforces. So there's incentive for you to be part of this community because you have lifelong employability. At Davos, how are you encouraging the community to understand the benefits of partnering with Top Coder?
You know, I think I actually would say your estimate might even be low. I believe so much in like the amount of technology that is going to be produced in serverless computing and containerized computing and all these other things that combine together with exponential technologies like crowdsourcing are going to lead to an environment with AI where with much less physical code, you can create an application. I mean, I think order of magnitudes less, which is going to lead to more and more applications, more and more complexity, and more innovation. So to me, it's the companies that act as an exponential organization that are going to disrupt the ones that are not, that are going to pave the way. And it is true. Companies are seeing it. They realize that they are competing with Apple, with Google for the same exact talent, because Apple and Google will hire as much as they can get, right? Salesforce will hire as much as they can get. So they're really competing for that talent, that top-notch talent. And they're not going to be in the brands in retail and even financial services are going to have a hard time getting that, because the other movement that's happening at the exact same time is that people are realizing that the world really is flat. And when you have, when your skill is based in intellectual capital, that you can demand, a fair and equitable living by providing that intellectual capital, companies that will pay for it, regardless of where you are. Right? The next generation is not going to, not even close, going to sit in cubes. They might do that as a social experiment or something fun, but it's not going to be to get work done. I already see that in we're a Wipro company, and we operate 100% remotely. So my entire team in Top Coder works remote.
170,000 employees spread around the globe. That's amazing.
That's pretty well. So here at Davos, right? What are you looking for? What are you trying to talk to people about? What are people engaging you with? Some of the conversations that are hot.
So the vibe that I hear a lot of is, disruption and transformation. There's just a heavy vibe towards that. And, I mean, probably a little bit too much. But the funny thing is that the themes of globalization are clearly underpinning everything. I think a lot of the gig economy theme is subdued. Right, it's like, it's mentioned kind of as one of those things that's going to, be a big impact or be an issue. AI is, there's an amazing theme of, I think half the people here are positive on the effects of AI and what it's going to bring to us, and the other half are scared. The robots are going to kill us all. They call themselves the realists. I'm on the positive side, obviously. But I think that's really interesting. So those are the themes that I'm hearing. I think next year we're going to see a lot more about how globalization and the gig economy together are going to change the way companies operate, how countries look at talent, right? So if you think about it, a lot of the way that we're competing as an organization or even as a country is the talent that we're able to produce, attract, bring in. And I think that that's going to be a major theme that, I sense it, I hear it, a lot of people talk about it, but it's not one of the top 4 or 5 or maybe even 10 themes this year, but that's going to be another one.
Wow. We're here with Mike Morris. We are here with Mike Morris, CEO of Top Coder at MMORRIS 36, is that correct?
NPM
RRIS 36. All right, we're live in Davos. Thank you very much. Thanks for dropping by. So, see you later.